He just wanted this gummy, so that's awesome. But Axel's here to talk to you guys this morning about handling objections. So that's what I'm going to spend most of this morning talking about, is the overcoming objections. And I'm going to talk about how to overcome objections. And then if you guys have specific ones you want me to overcome and tell you how I would say that, what we can do is I'll give you guys a chance to ask your question or throw your objection at me, and then we'll go from there. So, and then we're going to go over accountability too. So make sure you guys have your docs filled out, please. That would be great. So cool. So when you're overcoming objections, guys, you have framework you can use to efficiently overcome them, to efficiently kind of work beyond the objection. And so when I'm coming up with, like, when I'm talking to somebody and they throw some type of an objection at me, whatever it might be setting an appointment, it might be a kitchen table, a recruit, any of those things. When I'm going through that, there's 4 steps that I'm going to take when I get an objection. So the first thing is I'm going to affirm what they said. Okay, so, hey, I don't know if I would be good at this. Okay, awesome. So what I'm hearing you say, just making sure you're not sure if you're going to be good at it. Is that correct? Like, that might sound stupid. Like, they might literally say, Dan, I'm going to be terrible at the business. Be like, great. So you think you're going to be terrible at the business? Is that correct? Like, yes. Okay, great. So you just want them to know that you heard what they said, right? Most people will jump straight into the, like, well, you're not that bad and blah, blah, like all this other crap. Like, don't do that. Like, don't steamroll through don't steamroll through what they're saying. Just, hey, awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. So what I'm hearing is you don't think you're going to be very good at this potentially. Is that right? Let's say yes or no. Assuming they say yes, then I'm going to say, okay, now aside from maybe not being very good at this, is there any reason that you wouldn't want to get started right away? So you're isolating. I'm isolating the objections. So they said, I don't think I'm going to be good at this. And now I just want to see, is that the actual objection, or is there a different objection underlying there that they're just trying to, like, smoke screen me with? Does that make sense? So I want to see, like, what is the actual objection there? Okay, so now it's affirm, isolate. So I isolated the objection. So now I know that they don't think they're going to be good at it for real. Like, that's what they actually think. So then after that, I'm going to answer it. And so in that particular instance, well, John, in the beginning, I'm going to be doing everything for you, John. I'm pretty good at what I do right now. On the other side of that, John, let me ask you a question. Where do you work out right now? And they'll tell me. They're awesome. Were you really good when you started there day number 1, or did you have to learn over time and get better over time? Well, I had to learn and get better over time. Okay, great. This will be the same thing. And in the beginning, I'm going to go with you. So there's not going to be a dip in production because I'm going to help you. Okay, so I'm answering the objection. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and close. I'm going to ask to schedule their appointment. I'm going to go for a close in the IBA. Sorry, Axel's being real loud this morning. I'm going to go close the IBA. I'm going to go for the close in the life insurance. So again, I'll walk you through it. So, hey, I'm not going to be very good at this. Okay, great. No problem. No problem. So, hang on one second. Okay, so hey, I'm not going to be very good at this. Okay, great, no worries. So what I'm hearing you say is you don't think you'd be very good at this. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, awesome. Hey, listen, outside of not being very good at this immediately, is there any reason that you wouldn't want to get started with this right away? Well, no, that's the only reason. Okay, great. Well, let me ask you a question, Tammy. Like, were you really good at what you do now on day number 1, or did it take you some time to develop the ability to be able to be good at what you do now? I'm going to guess that you probably weren't very good at walking day number 1 when you came out of the womb either, right? You had to learn it, right? So you got to help people see that. So awesome. Well, I'm going to help you do that. I'm going to walk you through what we do. We're going to take you through the whole process. We're going to teach you everything. So Tammy, what I'd love to do is get you plugged into licensing so we can start that process and get you crawling before you got to walk. Awesome. Go ahead and download POL and blah, blah, blah. So every objection you're going to handle the same way. Affirm, isolate, answer, close. Affirm, isolate, answer, close. You should write that down. Affirm, isolate, answer, close. because that is going to be what helps you. That's going to be what helps you build yourself up in the business. That's going to be what helps you close business. That's going to be what helps you get progress. So any questions about that? Hit the raise hand button if you do, so you're not all unmuting yourself at the same time and it's madness. Any questions about how to overcome an objection at all, or the framework or anything like that? Lively bunch this morning. There's a bunch of you guys on this morning, but y'all are like ghost town. No one's like looking at me. Say that one more time. Affirm.
That's what I'm truly afraid of. Right there, becoming an RVP and having to deal with that.
So you're gonna affirm, isolate, answer, and close, Dave. So affirm the objection, isolate the objection, answer the objection, and then close the business. Crystal, what's going on? What you got?
My biggest one is most people like to tell me that they can get the insurance already from their work.
So I'm gonna guess that we're not on the script here based on the objection. That is this on setting appointments?
It's with family.
But are you on an appointment, or are you setting an appointment?
Setting one.
So you're off the script. I would call Angie and I would practice the script with her.
Okay.
Because never when I set an appointment does the word life insurance come out of my mouth.
Okay.
So if you're trying to set up an appointment, it's never, hey, come buy life insurance from me, or come, let me quote your life insurance, or let me look at this. Unless I'm very specifically going after a goal and I'm asking directly for life insurance business, which I do every so often, not very often, but every once in a while. Like right now, like Cassie should be going like a banshee at life insurance premium right now, so she can get her promotion at the end of the month. Like outside of that, like y'all should not be trying to set appointments for life insurance. Like that, don't do that. Like that's not efficient. So, but Crystal, is that what's happening? Are you just saying like, hey, I'm like, let me look at your life insurance?
No, it was just family. It was just family. It was like my brother and my dad, and they already knew that I was doing this and everything, and they would basically just shut me down before I even.
Yeah, so I would get with Angie on that to like check your script. And were you in person or were you over the phone when you were trying to set the appointment? So there's a lot of watch the appointment setting boot camp. I don't want to I'm not trying to bully you, so please don't hear this. Okay. I'm not trying to be mean, but there's a couple of things going on here that I would guess are we're trying to set an appointment in person, which you should never do that. You should always do it over the phone, even if it's like your bestie, right? Family, friends, whatever. You try to do it set it over the phone, not in person. The second thing is we should never be coming across life insurance in the conversations. Now it is a little different if someone knows what you're doing already, but hey, listen, awesome. I understand you can get it from your job. Outside of having life insurance from your job, is there any reason you wouldn't want to get on a 15-minute call and support me in my new business?
Yeah. That would be.
No, I would love to help you. Great. Let's get on a Zoom call and then get them on with Angie and Angie will close them. That's a killer one. I'm serious. Like with your people that are your friends, your quote unquote friends and family, right? Like they're and they're not going to help you. Like aside from just being a dick, is there any reason why you're not going to help me? Right? Yeah. Like I'm just being honest. Like aside from you being very stubborn and not being willing to help me out for 15 minutes, any reason you don't want me, you would y'all are not willing to ask the questions that sometimes you got to ask, like to get what you want out of a situation. Right. That's honestly, lay Hector on him.
Babies, they're just testing boundaries.
Yeah. Taylor said adults are just full grown babies. They're just testing boundaries. like, hey, listen, honestly, I've said that before, hey, look, I'm glad you have life insurance to work, but aside from just not wanting to help me, is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to get on a Zoom call for 15 minutes? Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to ask that question at all. And they probably have no idea that there's 19 other things that we can offer as well. So any other objections that you're getting, guys?
Just one thing about the work insurance. I had a conversation with a buddy that I worked with in the manufacturing business yesterday, and I actually set an appointment for this weekend with his fiance And that was his objection was well, and I did the same thing. I told him that life insurance was part of it. And now that you're saying that, it makes it,
There's nothing wrong
that's
with
stupid
telling
that I even
some, I'm
said
not,
that, but
yeah, I'm not saying to like hide behind like the Wizard of Oz curtain and not tell anybody what's going on. But like at the same time, like you shouldn't be setting the appointment with the life insurance thing. It's, hey, I'm working in financial services. I'm working on some license.
and I just
Go ahead.
And well, I just told him because he said the same thing. He said, "Well, I've got life insurance through work." And my first comeback to that was, "Do you realize that the group policy that you're on at work the actual policy is owned by your employer?" And he goes, "And then how much for anything about the insurance that you have through work?" Well, no.
Oh yeah, they never do.
Okay. So and then he started thinking, he was like, well, maybe I should look into it. So
yeah, so what I would tell any if you're ever coming across that objection, that is problem. So whole life all day, don't have life insurance all day. I could close 3 of the 5 Y Primerica at the KTs, like I had no issues with. But when I was new, I struggled with term. They already had term life insurance, and I struggled with group life. Those were the 2 that I would struggle with the most. And honestly, like group life insurance is still, in my opinion, the hardest one for me to object on, for whatever, or not object, but for me to close on, because people just are so brainwashed into thinking that their job actually gives 2 craps about them. And at the end of the day, like they can, how many ever been fired from a job with no warning at all? Anyone on this? Yeah, a handful of you guys, right? So you can't just be like, well, what if you get fired tomorrow? Like that's just not, it's crazy. So I just, within that scenario, because you all are going to run into this. So on a group life insurance policy, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to just tell them, like, or ask them, would you be willing to sit down with me so I can show you what I do? Like, you don't have to do anything because their guards already up. That's why, like, well, I got it through my job. Great, cool. I'm glad you got it through your job. Can I show you everything else that I do first? Like, there's so many other things that I do, and I just want you to be able to refer people to me. But here's the thing: if you are a master appointment setter, if you have the appointment setting script down and you know it in and out, you know it forwards and backwards, you know it in Spanish, right? Whatever, you get the point. If you know it very well, they could throw anything at you, and you just go right back onto the script, because the script at no point says, come buy life insurance from me, come get investments from me. It's let me show you what I do. Why? So that if you or anyone you know could ever use this in the future, you'd feel comfortable referring people to me, right? That's the thing. Like I don't want to say that this is what you're all doing, but I would guess that this is what's happening on a lot of appointment setting phone calls. Hey, come buy this from me. And maybe you're not saying that, but that's probably what people are feeling. And that's probably why you're having trouble getting on appointments, because they feel like, it sounds like desperation might be the wrong word. Yeah, exactly, Josh. It's like, do this right now, do this right. Like come sit with me today. Yes, there should be urgency in your appointment setting, 100%. I'm not saying there should not be. But what I am saying is it's people can tell when you're like, hey, come buy this thing, versus like, hey, let me show you what I'm doing. I think you see a lot of value in it. Worst case scenario, you can refer people over to me. Best case, save you a couple grand a month. That's it. Mother, hello.
Hello. So how about the objection? And I've done it before, but I want to hear it again. This isn't hourly rate, it's commission. So both, now this is both with a new recruit, because I told you yesterday,
Yeah.
the new recruit's like, oh, I didn't know it was this, or before, which I never necessarily always tell them on the call. It's just like learning something new, but anyway.
Yeah. So you're asking, like, how would I overcome the commission objection?
Correct.
Yeah. So first of all, if they ask me, like, is it commission? Like, yeah, thank God, 100% commission. And I'll just like sit there in that for a second, let them see what they say. I like to see how they respond to me saying that. Because a lot of times, again, they're just testing your confidence and your capability to believe something, right? Like, so they're like, oh, it's commission. I'm like, yeah, thank God, it's 100% commission. They're like, wait, what? Like that almost always that right there. They're like, wait, well, it just throws them off. Like they're not expecting that. But then after that, I'll say, yeah, there's no caps, no quotas, nobody telling me when to go to the bathroom. I can work when I want to, where I want to, how I want to. I get to do this whenever I want. I can do it from Disney if I want to. I can do it from home. I can do it in my basement. I can do it in the office. Like I have flexibility. I don't ever have to go into work if I don't want to. And then usually that's enough for them to be like, oh, okay. And then I'll tell them like, look, if you're part-time and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing every day, as a district leader, you should be making at least $500 a week, at minimum $500 a week. $1,000, $1,000 a week in premium. If you're working 10 hours a week, you're doing your minimums every day, and you're running 5 to 10 appointments a week, you'll close one recruit, you'll close a policy every week. Now it's up to you to keep that policy on the books. It's up to you to make sure you service your client well. It's up to you to get referrals and help the new recruit grow. That's up to you to continue to grow your business. But I promise you guys, if you send 25 to 50 messages a day, I guarantee you that you will close one recruit and 1,000 in premium every week. Promise. You'll average that out every month. There might be weeks, and here's the reality too. So like you might, like Crystal, you might send 25 messages this week and none next week. Guess what's going to happen? Probably nothing. Just going to be honest. It's the daily disciplines. Type that in the chat. Daily disciplines. You don't go from 300 pounds to 200 pounds and look kind of jacked by like only working out when you feel like it, only eating healthy half the time. Is it going to help you? Sure. But you're never going to get where you want to go if you don't do the crap you need to do every day. And this is like this, it's funny. Almost every call goes back to this concept, right? Of like, you just got to do the crap that you need to do every day. But I don't know you're talking about objections, but that's what I would tell them. And then the other thing I would say on the commission objection is, hey, do you currently, like when you go into work, if you didn't go into work and you didn't do what you needed to do, how long would you have your job? Well, not very long. I'd get fired. Okay, cool. So like you wouldn't get paid. They're like, yeah. I'm like, so you're not going to get paid if you don't do your job? They're like, no. I'm like, great. You're on commission right now. Congrats. Like they just pay you hourly for your commission. You're making the money. You're making the company way more money than they're paying you. And when you stop producing a result for the company, they're going to fire you and put somebody else in there that they can get to pay that little bit of money. And so wouldn't it make sense that we taught you a skill that you'd be able to make as much money as you want to and need to over the course of time, and that every month your income should go up? And again, you'll be shocked how many how many NPCs, right? They're just like, no, commission's evil. Like, okay, great. God bless. Have a good day. Like you can't fix stupid and dumbness forever, right? Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like you can't. Like you can help give a different perspective, but they're still stupid at the end of the day. Like it is what it is. And I'm not saying commissions for everybody. I'm not an idiot. I know that some people don't want that. I get it. Whatever. That's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with a wall about why it should be a plant. Like that's dumb. It's a waste of my energy. Like, so, but you do need, but you should, no, I'm not going to keep picking you up and getting you down. Go to mom. But what I would really encourage, okay, mom can help you. Go to mom. Sorry, I got a little 3-year-old this morning on something. But yeah, so I would really encourage you guys to like listen to Hector Lamarck's Overcoming Objections audios. I believe somebody just put that in the Zoom chat. I'm not positive. But Angie, was that you that put it in there?
I put the appointment scheduling one, but I can put the other one.
Okay, yeah, I would listen to appointment setting. So here's the thing. I love this call that anybody can be on this call. We opened that up for anybody about 6 months ago instead of just like the leaders in the team. The problem with that is it's a little bit harder for me to give exact direction on what to do. So if you are struggling with setting appointments, okay, now struggling might mean not making any phone calls at all. That would be struggling because you don't have any appointments. So if you're not setting up appointments, period, daily right now, you need to listen to the appointment setting audio. Okay. it doesn't, you don't need to listen to overcoming objections. You don't have, your only objection is you. So that's an easy adjustment. Then go set the appointments. Okay. So you need to listen to the appointment setting audio. If you are getting on appointments and you're not closing, which I think there's a solid chunk of you guys that are doing that right now, you're closing less than 50%. You need to listen to the overcoming objections audios. And you also need to listen to how to win friends and influence people, or skills with people, and just general personal development things, so you can start to develop into somebody that people will listen to and people will follow. And then if you're good on both of those fronts, keep listening to the overcoming objections just once a week or so, just to kind of keep it in the forefront of your mind. If you're closing over 50% and you're setting 3 to 5 appointments a day, I would just keep looking at that. And I would even get with your people and role play with them, have them help you set up, have them call you and set up an appointment, right? See how that goes. Throw an objection out. My favorite thing to do is have you guys call me and try to set an appointment. And I'll give you one objection and it's like the freaking wheels fall off the car entirely. And it's like a train wreck immediately. It's so funny, Josh, but it's part of learning, right? Like everybody's been there at one point, but just going through that. So anyway, guys, we're going to go to the docs. Hopefully that was helpful with you guys for the overcoming objections this morning. We're going to go to the docs, guys. Look, hey, we're pushing to get to 150 and we are going the opposite direction still. So someday we'll get serious about our Primerica business and decide to get our numbers up above 15 and get to a respectable number on the docs. And a number that is not a going out of business number on the docs. Okay, so I have 50 today. I have 5 recruits and 2 kitchen tables and 2 orientations. Karen, 17.
9 recruit appointments.
9
recruit appointments. Nice. Josh, 17.
I've got 1 recruit appointment today.
1 recruit appointment today. Cassie, 11. And Brian, 7.
Nothing again today. I got some stuff later in the week and over the weekend though.
Okay. Load it up, bro. You got a free day today to drive your number as high as you can. Like I would get very intentional about getting above 15.
Okay.
Angie, 6.
I have 2 FNAs today and 2 touch bases with team members.
2 FNAs and 2 whats?
Like touch bases to see to
Gotcha.
because they're
Okay.
not licensed yet.
I was like, I don't know what you're saying right now, but okay, cool. I thought you said test taking, and I was like, what tests are you? Why are you taking 2 tests today? That's what I was confused.
Sorry, I'm not quite awake. Touch base.
You're good. I was just confused. That's all. I'm easily confused. Alien, 5.
I have 1 recruit and then got to finish an IPA today.
Nice. And number 2.
I have 1 recruit and training with my team, and I plan on making more today or setting.
I want everybody to send Jenna the docs overview video from YouTube. Everybody go to the YouTube live feed. It's like 3 weeks ago. There's a live feed video of me walking through how to enter the docs. Everyone, that's your homework today. Go get that and text it to Jenna directly, please, just to make sure she gets the video.
You know what? How about you text me at night, or I'll set up a reminder at night, and I'll set it. I'll fill it out before I go to sleep.
Yeah, it takes 32 seconds. You'll be okay. I
All right.
promise. You'll survive. You can do it while you're in bed. It'll be amazing.
All right. I just need I need a reminder, or I forget.
John's gonna send it to you at 3 a.m. because I won't be awake at 3 a.m. But John said he'll send it.
I set a reminder on my phone. It goes off every night at 10 o'clock. So that I remember.
I'm going to try doing that. Oh,
Or
and by the way, I wanted to say, training last night, Dan, you were on fire, dude. I thought last night's training was like the best training I've seen you do before.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm
I
fired
thought
up.
last night's training was awesome.
The best RVP that was training last night too.
Yeah, you were
Just to
just
say.
so fluid. You were just so fluid with like how you were speaking, and
I know what we're doing. I know where we're going, and I know what it takes to get there. So I'm not going to deviate off of that. Like last night, they wanted me to talk about licensing and field training. I didn't talk about that not one time. So we'll see how that goes on Friday, but it's all right. Josh, what's up?
Yeah, dude, I was like when they were speaking, like the energy was just like off and not there. And then I was like, Dan, save us. Save us. And then you go up there and spoke, and like the whole energy in the whole room just shifts
Yeah.
and changes. It's incredible. I was
You had
like,
everyone
yes,
laughing.
finally.
Hey, that's good. But guys, look, like I'm gonna keep the main thing the main thing. What's the main thing? You gotta go freaking do something. Go be somebody. Go be proud of what you do every day. Go wake up in the morning and be able to look at yourself in the mirror and not hate yourself. Like at the end of the day, like do that. And I don't care how much you're making. You'd be making no money. But if you're good with yourself, if you're good with God, dude, that's all that matters. But if you're not doing the things you need to do every day, like you're not gonna be proud of yourself. It just is what it is. Like if you're just NPCing through life, Josh, right? Like you're not gonna feel good. Like you gotta have a purpose. Like you have to be excited about what's going on. Like that's, dude. Like I went to bed. I literally was reading. Y'all can get off if you want to. I'm gonna stop the live feed just so for the sake of